guys, welcome to the review show. My name's Austin, and the first season of Ahsoka is all on Disney Plus now. If you guys haven't known, I've been doing episode reviews weekly to the finale and all that. And there were spoiler reviews. If you guys want more depths into those episodes, you guys could check those out. And this is going to be non-spoilers because all those were spoilers. This is kind of just my thought on the show as a whole. And it took me a bit to do this video. Because I just honestly really didn't care for the show. That's probably gonna piss off a lot of people and just click off immediately. But hey, that's just kind of my opinion. And there is all good things in the show as well. It's not fully bad. Like, there's stuff in this show, it's more towards the end where I'm starting to get, I was really gonna being pissed. I didn't care about any of the characters. For example, is like Ahsoka, who does great by Rosario Dawson. I liked her a lot as the character. I thought she brought the character to life in certain scenes. But Ahsoka as a whole doesn't matter in the show at all. She's basically a side character to her own show, and it has zero purpose. She doesn't have to be in the show. She only has to be in the show for like maybe, one scene for, for a certain thing to happen so that they can go somewhere so that she could be involved. But you can take her out, she has zero impact. She makes no difference, and her entire arc in the situation, dealing with her past and dealing with the haunting of Darth Vader and her master has no impact. And they spent 20 minutes, maybe 15 to 20 minutes in an episode about it, and it never brought up again. It has no impact, and it's just like, yeah, she forgives her master now. Okay, cool. Is it gonna actually mean anything? No, because it's not actually something that affects her at all. Like, by the end of the show, she could have still been mad at him, and nothing would have changed. And one thing I thought they were going to do is that, oh, okay, so this is the reason why she keeps failing over and over, because she's having this thought of what her master was, and she's afraid of going down the same path instead of letting that go and forgiving him and choosing her own path. And that's how we get through the season. And you can have still her lose in some form by the end, but she's doing more smarter things and making better decisions. But you're just going, because you're going up against Thrawn, one of the smartest dudes alive. That's how she still loses, because he's just he is 10 steps ahead. But by the end, he's just lucky to win. And I don't care about Thrawn, to be honest, because the threat that Thrawn is to the New Republic is fucking nothing. It's like stealing candy from a baby. That is what this is. Because the New Republic are fucking stupid. They don't, the writing for the New Republic, I don't care what people are going to say. It's like, oh, well, it's written that way because of this. No, it's written bad. It's written fucking awful, and I fucking hated it. It's awful writing for the New Republic. And the only reason why they're writing the New Republic like this is so that the First Order can happen. And that's kind of the problem with this show, is that nobody has any consequences. The New Republics don't have any consequences of their stupidity. Thrawn doesn't come and immediately fuck them up or anything. And Sabine, who is one of the main characters of the show, doesn't get any fucking consequences. Who is the biggest dick in the universe? She is way worse than Rey. People are crapping on Rey, and Rey, as a person, Rey is a good person, and she could be a good character, but she didn't really go through that hero journey. That's why we didn't really connect to her with her that well. And that's why we kind of see her the bad side, because everything was just given to her. So, but here, Sabine does the most awful thing and allows them basically to fuck up her own galaxy just because she wants to find Ezra. How can that be fucking likable? Fine, character arcs, cool. Sabine's a dick at in the first part, and she, as she goes along, she realizes that she messed up. Cool. We do that. No. None of that ever happens. There is no character arcs. There is no such sense of urgency when they actually have the opportunity to be like, okay, we gotta get the fuck out because Thrawn's about to fucking leave. We gotta go. We gotta go. They don't. It's just like, how has everything been? Yeah, it's just, oh, that's awesome. Oh, the Emperor. Oh, you guys won. Oh, sick. So the Emperor's dead. Well, some people say that he is in. So as a season as a whole, I couldn't really get attached to anything. Like, the fan service, which I enjoy my fan service, don't get me wrong. But I still like a story that is connected to it. I like it to have a purpose. Like, the fan service with Anakin Skywalker is awesome. I was like, fuck yeah, let's go. And we get cool flashbacks. But it means nothing. Because it doesn't actually add up to anything. It's people are like, well, we've got to wait for the next season. You set it up here now in the third or fourth episode. No, you fucking finished that. You finished that reasoning here right now. You don't tell me to wait another basically 3 years to figure out what that whole term meant. No, it's the same thing with it when it comes to a movie. You set something up in a movie like early on, and that's what you're supposed. That's the whole purpose of this. You're supposed to connect it by the end, so it can make sense. It's like, oh yeah, you know that thing that we set up really early on in the movie? We're gonna explain it later in the next one. Don't worry, we'll get to it. It's just laziness. It's just bad writing. Oh yeah, this is what people like. We'll shove that in their face, and that's what people are gonna be talking about. That's what people are gonna be calling good, and they won't talk about anything else because that's all this is. It's just all this is Rebel Season 5, and at the beginning of my series, I thought, like, oh yeah, the first 2 episodes you can watch without knowing, Rebel Season 1 through 2, 3, 4. You might not need to really watch Clone Wars, but no, by the end of this fucking season, you really do. You really gotta watch Clone Wars and Rebels 1 through 4 to understand what the fuck is going on. By the end, I just didn't care about anything. Like, the special effects was great, the action was great, and each episode had something good about them. There wasn't really a really bad episode. There was one episode that I completely fucking hated, and I believe that was the finale one. Like, the last 2 episodes, actually, now thinking about it. There's 2 episodes that I really didn't fucking like. But overall, even in those 2 bad episodes, there's still something good in them. I was expecting, a lot more from this show, and it didn't meet any of my expectations at all. Like, you took a great character from the Clone Wars and just did nothing with her. You honestly, this should have been a journey with her and Luke. How cool would that have been? And the problem is, then people are gonna be like, well, then they can't do the de-aging because then, that's gonna be too much. Re-fucking cast, which we have to mention, Ray Stevenson, who is one of the most greatest villains I've ever seen in Star Wars lately. He is fucking great. But the problem is, Ray Stevenson has passed away, which is unfortunate, and they did nothing with his character by the end, which this was filmed before his passing, so it's not his passing's fault for what happened. So it's more of Dave Filoni's fault for bad writing, for not actually clearing things up with his character, which is one of the things I mentioned earlier, that they set things up and they just left it up in the air and didn't care to actually explain. So I'm afraid, since his passing, they're not going to recast him. They're just going to write him off, and his character is going to be somewhere out there. Recast his character, please, because I liked Ray Stevenson as his character. Don't get me wrong. But I like the character too. I really like the character, and that character should live on. Characters and stories come first, not the actors. That's how I look at things. Because they're here, you're paying them to play the characters. You're not paying them to. You're not paying them the opposite way, and you're not paying the characters for the actors. And so I'm hoping that they come to their senses with, like, Disney and everyone else come to their senses of, like, okay, we got to start recasting some of these older characters. If we're going to recast Rey, we're going to have to cast Leia. We're going to have to recast Luke. You already recast Han. You're ready to recast Lando. You're making a Lando movie. So what's the issue when it comes to recasting iconic characters? So it's like, so you already have a recast Han. Bring that Han back. I mean, he's gonna be around that age where Han, like, you know, Harrison Ford would be, in that time period. And so get somebody to play Luke. That's what you should have done. This should have been about Ahsoka and Luke, and you know, you could have that like side of the story of where Ahsoka was afraid of her past and her master and all of that, and next you have Luke there, and it would have been an interesting story, and have them go fight off Thrawn and find Ezra. That would have been so much better than what we got. It would have been, because it would have been more contained, and you would have. And the only thing you would really have to worry about is Ahsoka, which is from the Clone Wars, and which not a lot of people are going to know them, but a lot of people are going to know Luke, who that character is, so they have something to familiar with and something to actually get attached to. But the new people that are coming into Star Wars will be like, I don't know who any one of you are. And I know C-3PO, who makes an appearance later on for Leia. That's the only character I really know. To those people, if they watched any Star Wars and that's the only familiarity that they're gonna get. And so overall, the show is it's a mixed bag, and there's a lot of good things in there. We give Ahsoka a C-. That's the highest grade I can give it, to be honest. I like, it's slightly better than Kenobi, but part of me might actually watch Kenobi over Ahsoka, because Kenobi at least has more Anakin and Darth Vader stuff. Well, more Darth Vader than Anakin, but you know, Darth Vader's a badass in that show, and that's kind of what makes me want to watch it more over this. And I would watch the movie, not the TV show. I'll watch that fan movie version of it. But yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully, if you guys enjoyed the show, great. This is just my opinion, how I, saw it, and how I just simply didn't love it. I liked it. I didn't really necessarily hate it, besides a couple 2 episodes that really got on my nerves because of bad writing. But there's still a lot of good stuff in the show as well. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Like always, I'll see you guys next review. Bye, guys.